Hi, guys. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show. And I built this show for exactly the things that are going on right now. It it's a long story, but I'm going to try to make it kind of short because I want y'all guys to understand why I know what I'm talking about, why I am credible. Okay, you see, I started having interactions all the way back when I was 11 years old with these roundabout and bright white orbs that appeared in the sky. It didn't happen a lot when I was young, but it happened a number of times. But then as I got up in age, especially once I turned my work and stopped chasing the dollar and started telling the truth, seeking the truth, and telling the truth, what I had happen was I was out and I know some of you have heard some of this story stuff, but we've got some videos we're gonna look at of some of the things that are going on, some of the things that people are seeing, uh, and we're gonna discuss the different things and what they are. Some of it is man-made, quite a bit of it, and some of it is heavenly, interdimensional, angels, and potentially a few other related things like that. Like we've seen the chariot of fire that I call the chariot of fire during the eclipse that was filmed from at least two locations. And we've seen the black shadows flying through the heavens during the eclipse on April 8th. We've seen it get dark twice in places all over. I mean, I had hundreds of people confirm to me that it got dark twice during the eclipse. We've seen the comet coming down with all of the white orbs following it down and all around it coming down that are angels. Those are were heavenly beings. Whether they are good or bad, it's hard to say. But I want to kind of go cover with you here because I want y'all guys, especially the ones that are new, because believe it or not, I actually have some new people even though as shadow banned as I am. And the way you can help me defeat that is by sharing this video, sharing it any way you possibly can, or any of my videos that I do. Now, let's go back to about, uh, I'd say about 13 years ago. I was in New Mexico. I was traveling with a group of people in an RV. I was already a YouTuber, had been for several years, and I was doing truth videos. And we were in New Mexico. We were staying on top of you'd say a mountain, but they're not huge mountains in New Mexico, and they roll through the countryside down there. And the first night we got there, we were there for 2 weeks. The first night we got there, there was about 4 or 5 of us standing outside beside the RV. We were parked in a lady's yard that was kind enough to let us stay in her yard that the people I was with knew. And she had lived there for many years and had never seen, she's seen some weird stuff, she said, but she had never seen these bright white and round all about. People choose to call them orbs because orb is a word that describes the shape. Okay. But the first night we were there were about 7 or so, give or take, that showed up all of a sudden, and everybody was like, "Look, look!" And we looked up, and they were the way we were parked, and at our table, they appeared over right where we could see them the easiest, and they appeared. They were stationary. There were multiples, and then one just disappeared, or not one or two disappeared. And then the last one, it struck off through the sky. And when it did, I noticed that it left a white streak, kind of like a smudge, as it went. And as it went, the smudge would start to disappear. I now know that they're like sparks. This is why Disney, with Tinkerbell and all her little sparks and flying around and stuff she does, that is a hint, is basically what that is. But I seen another time, but let me finish this first thing first. We were there for 14 days on top of the mountain. Almost every night, at least 12 out of the 14 nights. There might have been one or two nights we missed it for some reason, but every night we would walk out past the end of the camper so we could have a bigger panoramic view, which was a huge view. And every night they would appear right out in front of us, what appeared to be like right on top of the next row of mountains or hills. Okay, they would appear repeatedly every night, and they would do different things, but mainly they were appearing. Sometimes they would count off, like one would appear and it would start to fade, and then another one would appear and it would start to fade, and then another one, that kind of thing. And we've seen that for 2 weeks straight. And the last night we were there, one struck off again the last night. So the first night and the last night. And I did do something there. I think I've mentioned it before on the channel. But I went out there and you can think about what you want to think about this. I don't need to make anything up. Okay? It's just the truth is the truth. So I went out there one night. I can't remember which night it was. But I went out by myself, and I was standing away from everybody, and I didn't try to get them to come look because it was getting dark, and I knew the show would be happening soon. And I said, okay, if y'all guys are out there and you know and you can hear me or understand what I'm saying, and I was thinking this intently, kind of like in a prayer, and I verbalized it. And I said, when I point to the sky, I want y'all guys to show up. When I pointed at the sky, well, actually I did it with my right hand. I pointed at the sky, and bam, they started showing up. Boop, 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 boop. What can I say? It happened. You're here to hear the truth, aren't you? There's so many deceivers on YouTube. I'm not one of them. So that happened for 2 weeks. Left there, went from various places, ended up living right close to the ocean. And many nights I would go out to the ocean. I like to go out there right after the sun sets. Mainly because I know that's when angels can show up. And they can show up anytime. But they're more common, at least for me, on mountaintops or by the water's edge, which is biblical. Okay, think about Moses. Think about the book of Daniel, the angels appearing over the water. So I'd go, this was in the Myrtle Beach area in South Carolina. I'd go out to the beach, and sometimes I would take people with me and say, let's go see the angels. And we would go, and there they were. They would appear. After we'd be there for a little while, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, they would appear. And here's some keys I want to give you. I want to give you some ways to know what you're looking at, what it truly is, okay? And not be deceived, because we're being deceived in the heavens right now by Starlink, okay? Because stars are angels. Sorry if you don't know that yet. And those stars are not planets that you can go walk around on, or planets are not planets where you can go walk around on. That's all nonsense, NASA stuff that you were trained since you were a child. All right. So I would go out there, and here's some of the things you need to know about them. Okay, if they're an angel, whether they're good or bad, dark or bright. Now, and I want to talk about that too in a minute, about would an angel of light that was a good angel still be bright white, or would he be something else? Would he be dark? Would he be of a different color, maybe a flame? Okay, we're going to talk about that in a second. But let me tell you some of the things you need to look for when you're wondering if what you're seeing in the sky is an angel. Okay, if you're seeing something in the sky that's coming way from the distance, like the horizon, and it's coming towards you in the sky, and as it gets closer, you can tell that it's very high up. As it comes, it'll get dimmer, and then it'll get bright, and then that get dimmer, and then it'll just disappear. And when it's approaching, you can tell it's on a slight arc, not a big curve, a slight arc. The way Starlink satellites move through the skies is they have to move on a slight arc. Okay? If you see them coming across the horizon, and you see them getting bright and then dimmer and then real bright, and they're moving in a slight arc, that's Starlink. They're fooling us. I had been seeing here recently on my front porch right there, I had been sitting out every night, and I have seen angels here, but I started seeing something that's coming from the horizon, and it's not blinking. There's no blinking lights. It's just a bright white light that'll get intensely bright sometimes. And as it's coming towards you, if you're seeing that kind of a thing with that arc, I believe that is Starlink. They've got them. They've got 33,000 of them. Imagine that, 1/3. How many? We know Elon, he likes to play the beast, play the dragon. He dressed up as a dragon 2 years ago for Halloween. He's got his dragon capsule. He's got his Starlink. He's into this stuff. And there's deception, yes, in Elon, the billionaire. Okay. If you're not here for truth, you don't have to stay. You didn't pay anything to get here. So, but if you're here for truth, I'm trying to give it to you. So Starlink, they've got lights on those Starlink satellites, and they're lighting up, and they're making themselves visible, but they're moving on an arc, and they don't stop. If you're seeing something stationary in the sky, that's something else. If you're seeing something continuous moving on a slight turn, that's Starlink, and they're doing it every night. I'm seeing them every night out here. Now, let's talk about what an angel's attributes are, as I have witnessed myself many times since I was a child. But since I was on the mountaintops in New Mexico, it's been 75, 80 occasions, well close to 200 different points of light or angels. And I'm very thankful for this, because when I was seeing all these Starlink satellites that are lighting up coming across, it fooled me for a moment. For a few days, I was thinking that it might be angels, because it looks like them, but it does not behave like them, other than lighting up and disappearing. That's the only thing I've seen so far when it comes to their attributes. But a real angel, whether good or bad, what I've seen them do is I've seen them many times standing at the beach. They'll just appear out of nowhere, and they'll be close, and they'll be right down at the ground, or at the water rather, right down above the water, they'll be within 100 yards of you. Sometimes they'll be 50 yards of you, just over the edge of the water. Normally they'll come down and sit over the edge of the water. Sometimes they'll show themselves and they'll only be there 1 or 2 seconds and then they're gone. If you want to have a clue if they're there wherever you're at and you're trying to look and witness some, watch out for sparks in the sky. You don't look at any one point with your vision. You use your overall vision to kind of watch the whole sky. And if you see sparks kind of flashing, flicker, there's a good chance they're there, because angels are not omnipresent, meaning they're not everywhere at once. This angel has what he's doing. This angel has what he's doing. Whatever God, Father in heaven, has them doing. Now, here's some other attributes of what I have witnessed angels do. I was standing at the beach another night, and I've seen as many as 8 or 10 show up together, sometimes in a line. One will come on, and it'll start to fade, then another one appears beside it. It'll start to fade, then another one appears beside it, and so on and so on. Okay. Sometimes they don't keep that straight pattern. Sometimes they'll just be more random, but a lot of times they'll have geometric patterns that they're in. Sometimes they can streak off, and when they do, they will leave a streak of light in the sky. You'll see that. My advice would be is, if it's not real close to you, like surprisingly close, you have to assume it could be something else until it gets pretty close and it's doing some of these attributes I'm telling you, and I have more to tell you. I've been standing on the beach looking up, looking for angels, and they'll appear in the sky above, and then they will flash. It'll light up the ground like it's daylight. No sound, but for about a half a second, everything's daylight. Everything. They can light up everything. There is a video of this taking place that happened in Jerusalem, close to the Temple Mount area. He came down, he sat there, he flashed. Matter of fact, it's in the intro for the Supernatural Show, 4 different angles of it. And it's on my documentary that I released yesterday, that is a documentary I did 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Because Father's had me on this path a long time to do what I'm doing now, which is to educate you of the truth and the attributes of angels and what they really look like, so that you may not be deceived in the days that are coming. So let's talk about more attributes. Flashing in the sky, counting off, appearing, disappearing, close to you. They're not cruising across the sky on a slight arc. If they are, that's probably Starlink. And I'm not talking about a little pin of light like we could see sometimes when Starlinks were launched and they'd be in that straight line. I'm talking about that they're lighting up. They've got larger light capability on those Starlink satellites, and it gets real bright, similar to an angel. They're trying to imitate angels. So another attribute, I was standing on the beach, looking up, looking around, and I happened to be kind of looking up, and one flew from behind me over my head about 20, 25, maybe 30 feet at the most above my head. And it was moving. And it shot straight out across the ocean, below level. And as it shot out in the distance, it disappeared. But as it went across me, I was looking up. It went across. Pixie dust was floating down. Except for it was sparks. So the white smudge they leave looks like sparks to the human eye, to my eyes. It looked like sparks floating down when it shot across me, and I was looking up at it. So there you have another attribute that you know the truth about. Another attribute, I was standing in the exact same spot a different night at the beach looking for angels. One appeared straight out over the water in front of me. It was only there about a second, maybe two, and it started to fade. And right when it started to fade, an electrical arc connected with the ocean. I don't call it a lightning bolt necessarily because there was no sound. There was no sound. But I seen the arc whap, slap the ocean, or either it came from the ocean to the angel. I'm not sure which, but it arced and you could see it. So there's a high electrical component, using the best language we have to use here when it comes to them, because of the sparks they use. All right, another attribute. They can show up anywhere. It does not have to be over the water. It does not have to be over the mountaintops. It's just that for, I think, electrical reasons, they tend to like the water and they tend to like the mountaintops and also tops of very tall buildings. Okay? No sound. There's got to be sound. Everybody be blowing up everything. Test, test. Yep, there's sound. Test, test. Switch to my other mic just to make sure. But if you're not hearing any sound, check your sound there, my friend. Robbie, check that. All right. Hey, Robbie, everybody else has got sound, buddy. All right. So continuing on. Now, I'm trying to think. I may think of some more attributes that I've seen them do myself. One of the biggest factors I would tell you is that if it's way off, don't count it as what you would call an angel. It's too easy to fool you from a distance. They'll get close. In my documentary, there's footage in there of angels from all over the world doing all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, I could give you some attributes based on those videos and the things that they do. Like I said, they create a spark before they appear. When they cross the veil into our reality, our perception, where our eyes can see them, they will spark right ahead of that, just like it is when an ovum is entered by a sperm. When a female egg is fertilized, it sparks because something crossed the veil. Now, if you think about all these attributes, let me share my screen here. But first, before I share my screen, I've got some videos and things I want to show you and talk about. That's important, so don't go anywhere now. And it's all related to what we're talking about. I want to prove some things to you and show you some things. Looking at had 160 votes. Wow, very good job, guys. What do you think the white orbs are that are being seen worldwide? Aliens, 16%. Demons, 19%. Angelic beings, 46%. Oh, now it's 46 again. And then 20%, I have no opinion. All right. If they're aliens, I've been having aliens in my presence in an unbelievable, normal Now, if you spend any time reading biblical texts, or you spend any time reading historical accounts and other literature, and looking at paintings, it all points to these bright white and round all about. Those, I think that comes out of the book of Enoch. Bright white and round all about is what they look like. Ezekiel said they look like a wheel within a wheel. And I've seen them. I've seen where the energy is rotating in on itself. I would say that what they exist in is a toroidal field. A toroidal energy field is what their essence exists in, because, well, there's many, many reasons. Demons, yes, there are demons out there. I do not believe these are demons. Is there a chance I could be wrong? Sure. Do most people think I'm wrong? No. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I've had many witnesses with me. One of them is sitting right here, Miss Kim. She's, I've taken you to the beach before and said, let's go look at the angels, haven't I?
Yep.
Say it where they can hear you.
Yes.
Hopefully you can hear her. She's watching the comments and stuff like that for me, helping me out. All right. So now let's, and for those of you that have no opinion, go watch my documentary that's on the channel. It's got about, 12 or 13,000 views since I posted it yesterday evening. Yes, I posted it before, but there are times when it needs to be reposted, like right now, because this is a big subject, because of everything that's being seen all over everywhere, all kind of things going on, and we're going to look into those things right now. Okay, so let's take a look at, this. Let's take a look at this, and let's look at a few things. Not sure what order I've got these in for sure. Okay. Yes, I do. All right. Wizard of Oz. Some of you have heard me say this before, show this before. A lot of you have not. Sorry for the ad. That's YouTube for you. All right. So here we have Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. They put a lot of truth in this video, and I'm going to show you one of those truths. I'm not going to play too much of it because of copyright issues. However, here you have Dorothy in Wonderland, or Oz, excuse me, right? You see the orb back here behind her? Watch what happens. You see? It's floating in. Dorothy's turning around, and where is it at? It's coming in off of what looks like a mountaintop, isn't it? You see? This is what a lot of people have been seeing. And they put it in the Wizard of Oz, right in front of our faces, because they know what these are. They know what they are, but they're also trying to imitate them with Starlink, and they've got man-made crafts that they are going to call these man-made crafts alien crafts, and something has to be done about them. So therefore, they're going to put on a show for us. The show's already started, and we've all got a free ticket. So what is the orb coming? Are y'all guys seeing this? What is the orb coming in the Wizard of Oz? The orbs that are being seen everywhere around right now, people are seeing them. Some of them are Starlink. If you see it coming from a distance and it's way high up and it's arcing slightly coming towards you, and it gets kind of dim and then real bright, and as it gets close above you and it's like you can tell it's way up there, that's Starlink, and they're trying to deceive you. In this case, what is this? You see this? They showed you a truth right here in this, and I'm explaining it to you and showing you. When you see these orbs, not the Starlink ones and not the man-made deceptions with all these other crafts. All these other crafts, anything with a flashing light, first off, a repeated flashing light is going to be man-made. All the drones up in New Jersey, all the things they're talking about, the pilots are seeing. Pilots don't talk about this stuff, but now all of a sudden we got pilots talking about them and putting out videos. Why? I guess they're not afraid of losing their job. You got Congress talking about this stuff. Immaculate constellation. What is a constellation? It's a group of stars. It's a group of angels that hold their place in heaven and have a particular frequency job that they do. It has to do with this creation that we are in. So what does this orb turn into? Well, let's see what the orb turns into. And no, I've never had one come this close like this as it's depicted and turn into a good witch. But what they're showing you is clear. You see, she's got a star in her hand. She's got a staff with a star on it. She has a crown with stars on it. You see that? It's all symbolism. But they showed you the orbs, what they are. No, they're not good witches or bad witches. They're angelic beings of different types, of which I can't say I understand all of them. Not even close. But this is the truth for you. Look at her dress. It's got stars all over it. What are they saying symbolically? They're saying she's a star, an angel. And this is how they travel, in a ball of light. I hope you're picking up this truth. I hope you're picking up this truth, because it is that indeed. All right, let's look at something else. In the movies, and some of you have heard me talk about this before, but in the movies, they love to depict and show us things without telling us what they're showing us. You understand what I'm saying? So this scene, of course, is from Terminator. And we're going to look at the symbolism and similarities along with the attributes of what they're showing us here. They're showing it as if it's a time traveler. That's the context in the video. And yeah, angels are maybe time travelers, you might say, because where they exist in the heavens, there is no time. A day is like 1,000 years. 1,000 years is like a day. We think, how could the stars be angels? All they do is sit in one spot. No, they actually move continuously. And there is no time in the heavens. So let's see what happens here. And I have to keep pausing it a little bit. And you should understand why. Copyright. So there's a little bit of a breeze and there's some flashes. Oh, look, we've got electrical arcs. Remember what we were talking about, how angels have electrical attributes? Like I seen the one at the beach and the lightning came out of it and struck the ocean. My Father in heaven, as my witness, I've seen it. I know I was being shown it so that I could stand here and testify in Father's name the truth. All this electricity, right? Tons of electricity. And again, they have a spark when they come across the veil. They are electrical, for a lack of better words. Plasmatic. I used to use the word plasmatic or plasmians. Yeah, they're just energy. We're energy. We're water and energy. So Terminator should be here in a moment. Let's see if I might need to move it a little bit. No, let's just keep playing. And here he's arrived, right? In this particular scene, they didn't show the white orb. But in the next one, I'm going to show you in a minute, they do. And of course, here's Arnold. The electricity still flying. And what is he? He's in the image of man, but he has supernatural characteristics, doesn't he? He has powers. And of course, the plot itself is twisted in the movie. It's not going to tell you all truth or anything like that. But they do show quite a bit of truth there. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, because I believe this next one is one of the ones where they show all of the Terminator movies showed this stuff. Right? Can I get this to pause? Okay. Let's move forward here to about here when the electricity starts flying. This is another arrival. This is Terminator 2. The last one, I think, was Terminator 1. Now we get to see the bright white round all about orb with all this powerful energy and just cuts a section out of the truck. I've never seen angels do anything so far as like that, like change anything other than they can change the light. They can probably do a lot of things I haven't seen, obviously. It's all based on what they're supposed to be doing, unless they're fallen, and then that's another story, right? So there's our Wizard of Oz orb again. Same thing that they're showing people all over the world right now, and they're telling you it's aliens. Let me say this again. It's not aliens. There's no such thing. You may disagree, and that's okay. But what I'm telling you is I have personal experience many times with this. So here is our Wizard of Oz orb, where the Good Witch of the North came in, floated in with Dorothy, right? We just looked at that just a few minutes ago, and appeared, and it was an angelic being with stars all over her dresses, carrying a staff with a star on it. They're telling you. They're just not telling you. It's all about symbolism. What rules the world? Symbolism rules the world. It does. That's why they use it so heavily in showing you right in front of your face truth, like you have right here, mixed with lies and deception. So there we go. We have our Terminator arriving again, right? And yeah, this whole storyline does tie in because they want us to think that there's aliens coming, or maybe somebody coming back from the future, back from the future or back to the future. They want to deceive us. And I don't have their complete script. I just know what they're doing. I know what I've seen, and I'm testifying to it. So there you have, once again, your depiction of an angel arriving and manifesting on Earth. But of course, it's not an angel. It's just depicting some of the attributes of what an angel is. Here's another one. Let the ad get through here. Let's see, what is this? Okay, this was in Jerusalem. Let's see. I wanted to see this other one first. This was from the movie called Transformers. And if y'all guys know of any movies out there that depict this stuff, I want you to tell me about it. Okay? I want you to text me about it. I want you to text me and send me a link to it, and I'm going to give you the phone number. I want you to text me at that number right there. I want you to tell me what movies have, just like the Wizard of Oz depicts the witch coming in the orb and landing, or Terminator is coming down and landing. Okay? I want to know what y'all guys know, and I'll bring it back into another show maybe, okay? So let's look here and see what we got. Okay. So here we have their version of what Earth looks like, which is a deception as well. But no, I'm not saying the Earth is flat. It's much more complicated than that. I've done videos talking about it, and I'll do another. But right now, you can see what they're depicting. Something coming down, shooting out of the heavens, falling from the heavens like lightning, right? Coming down. Let me move the scene forward a little bit so I don't have to deal with so much copyright stuff. So here come the Decepticons. Deception, con. We all know what these words mean, right? But they're showing them falling out of the heavens like streaks of fire, like meteors or comets or shooting stars, right? And falling to the earth. And when they get down to the earth, let's see what they do. Well, that's certainly a different type of arrival, isn't it? A little bit different than Terminator, of course. But it has the same flavors, doesn't it? All right. So now, let's look at, see, is this the one I'm looking for? I'll know in a second. Jerusalem, a number of years ago, there was an event. No, this isn't that, but I'll go ahead and show you this real quick.
Last night over Oahu caught the attention of many people. Howard Deshefsky joins us this morning. Howard.
This was a few years back.
That's the question. What was it? What did people see? We did receive a lot of reports via our reported feature on our website. A lot of viewers wondering what those lights were over West Oahu. Check out this video from one of our viewers, Matt.
So this was in Hawaii, and what you're looking at, these are angels. I didn't see them with my own eyes, but with the best judgment I have, I would say if I've seen this, I would say this is angels.
Chatai. He said he woke up at about 2:30 this morning, get a drink of water.
And they can definitely they mostly look white, but they can also look kind of amberish. I've seen purple heliotrope in them, which is why heliotrope is associated with deity, with royalty, because they know that the angels depict purple. I've seen it with my own eyes many times, actually.
And this is what he saw in the sky. Certainly caught his eye. He took the video from Kaka'ako and thinks the lights were over Central or West Oahu. Hard to tell from his vantage point. As you can see, the two.
You see that one? There's two, and then there goes three. It's very, very common with angels. And there will be a spark right before the one appears. I don't know if we can see that in this one or not. I'm trying to back it up. I think they cut the video there a little in a kind of a bad spot. Yeah, they cut the video. But there'll be a spark.
Hard to tell from his
and then it
vantage point.
appears like that.
You can see the two bright.
I've seen it hundreds of times. Okay. So that is a good example of just one thing they do, which is show up and just sit there and watch. This is one of the reasons they're called watchers, because they do that kind of behavior. All right. Let's see here. In Jerusalem, this one you can't see as well. I think I have another video of this too. But as you can see in the center of the screen, there's like a light. Okay. And Jerusalem is down below it. The Rock of the Dome, Temple Mount area is right here. And it descended down. Okay, here's the 4 different views. I want you to look at the one particularly on the right-hand side, over on the right. That one you can literally almost see an angelic shape like with wings. But these were 4 different people who seen the light sitting up there and started recording it, and it came down, sat there for a moment, and then it flashed, which I've seen with my own eyes about 5 different times. 5 different nights, flashing, and they light up everything, just like happens in this video.
Holy shit.
Look at the one on the right.
You can almost hardly look at them. We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like
So, from all of my best judgment, even though I wasn't there, so I can't say for 100% anything, I can say for 100% on all the times I've seen these things in person, myself, my eyes, hand to heaven. And those are the things that happened. And I've seen it many, many times. This is a short, someone recording and caught them. And I have seen them do this. When they move slowly, they look like a flame. Sometimes, not all the time. Right here to the left, me and Miss Kim were sitting on the porch one night when we first moved in this house, just over a year ago. We were sitting in, she was the first one to notice they were streaming up like this, coming up from the bottom and head going up. And they looked like, almost like a candle wick, but it was upside down. The smaller part of the flame was lower. And they were raising like that, one right behind the other, like 5, 6, 7 of them. And it's similar to this.
Oh, hell no. That's crazy.
See how it kind of looks like a
Flares?
flame?
No, they're...
It's not flares. See, you'll notice that we've seen this during the eclipse. It was filmed. An object, I called it a chariot of fire, okay, because it is a deity, an angel, that was photographed flying around looking like a flame, just like this video we just watched. I think I even have that. Let me see if I have that right here or not. Yeah, take a look at this. This was during the eclipse. So, chariot of fire, it's something an angel can look like. The book of Isaiah, I think it was, talked about them appearing on the hillside, looking like chariots of fire. That's what they look like. You've witnessed now, even though it was on video, and some of you have seen this with your own eyes. But that's what it is. They're angels. They're not aliens, guys. They're not aliens. That's deception. They've made likely 1,000 alien movies trying to train us that there's such a thing as aliens. It's all lies because they want us to believe it, because they're going to deceive us. They're going to deceive us. They're going to deceive the masses, but we will not be fooled. My brothers and sisters that are watching this right now will not be fooled. You will know, and you'll be able to tell the people around you. They'll run, they'll freak out, they'll be scared, and you'll be standing strong because you know the truth. This is why I want to empower you, give you this knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is strength. All right, so let's look at the next video here. Y'all guys remember, and it's all related. I'm not going to show this too much, but I know y'all guys remember the balloons, the white orb-shaped balloons that they were flying all around, saying it was China spying. What they're doing, guys, is they're trying to create chaos in the minds of people to not be able to understand what all is going on. Who's this? Is it China doing this? Is it where are these drones at over New Jersey? Is it China? Is it aliens? They want chaos in the minds, because out of chaos they get what? Order. Their order. If they can confuse and deceive you, you'll make bad decisions. You'll ask for their help. Somebody needs to do something. Boom, boom, boom. That's what the masses will do. But you will not, because you will not be deceived. All right. A few photos and maybe a couple other videos to show you here. Most of you probably heard about Manchester, New Jersey, I think it was. New Hampshire, New Jersey. And this was a pilot supposedly taking these photos out of his wet windshield in an airplane. And yeah, it does look like that. But pilots don't want to lose their jobs. You may say, well, Daniel, Congress is asking for them to say something now. Yes, they are. Because they want people to demand a solution. Do something, Mr. President. Do something. We're scared. We don't know what's happening. We are all in danger. The aliens are going to eat us. It's foolishness. Foolishness. There's no such thing. If they could, we would have been eaten a long time ago. But we're still here. And yeah, I know there's stories of this and that and the other. But I can speak with what I've seen with my own eyes and testify to it with my hand on a Bible, my right hand to the heavens, whatever, the most valuable promise is, in order to let you know, that we're being deceived. Okay. This thing supposedly was flying around and come down and landed. This might be a little short video clip. It's a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of everything for basically nothing. If this is even a real photo, that would be a man-made object. It's not alien. Man has technology that they've not told you about. Do you think that's possible? That the governments of the world and the scientists of the world and the manufacturers of the world, like DARPA, do you think they've made anything that they haven't told us about, and they may one day try to use it to deceive us? Or do you think they've been totally open and honest and truthful and righteous? No, they have not. They're liars, they're cheats, they're deceivers, they're scum. However, we should try to pray for them, but I'm trying to make a point. Okay? So you can see right above the little play button here, there's a little black dot. Can't really see it that well here. I don't believe I can make it any bigger, really. I'll play it real quick. I mean, this is the best footage we could get, of course, right? And the pilot released it, right? There's a lot of deceivers working with a lot of deceivers, okay? Do you think any of the pilots that fly the commercial airlines around the world might be Freemasons? Some of them might be high enough up that they might be used to deceive the public. I mean, this could be all AI. You can use AI right now to create any image or video you want. And that's part of the plan, to create the chaos that they're going to need to get their new order, new world order. They need to create so much chaos that nobody knows what nothing is. Everything is completely confusing. Nothing makes sense. Our president is crazy, stumbling around, all falling off the stage, and we're the most powerful nation in the world, and he got the most votes ever in history. Really? I got an investment for you if you believe all this isn't a setup. The world is a stage, and all these people that are on the big television, and a lot of them on the news, and a ton of them on YouTube and other platforms, they're deceivers. They'll do their hands in that pyramid shape repeatedly when they do their videos. They'll slip it in there. Sometimes they'll do it like this. Let me show you. Sometimes they do this thing, of course, right? They put the fingers together and make the pyramid. I'm not going to do it. Other times they'll do this. They'll interlace their fingers and they'll put their thumbs up like that. Okay? Making the pyramid with their thumbs. If they're under deep cover, that's what they'll do. Now, how do you know this, Daniel? Because I know. I'm an observer. I'm a watcher. I pay attention to everything. You get me? Everything. Yeah, I can miss some things. I can be wrong. But I ain't wrong about the things I'm talking to you about today. Especially their hand things and what they do. They do it all the time. It's their way of getting over on you, like I'm telling you right here with my hands what I am. All right. Let's see what we got next. Yeah, y'all guys are here with me in the comments. Let's check on our poll real quick, and I've got some more things to show you. If y'all guys are watching this and you're not subscribed, don't you think you should hit the button? All right, so we got 25%, 455 votes, and we got 25% of you still think these things are aliens. Are you kidding me? You watch too much television. Did you watch this video from the beginning? This show? Why do you think they've made 1,000 alien movies? They haven't made 1,000 movies showing us what angels really look like, have they? They could. The closest they get to it is Wizard of Oz. You see? They had the Witch of the North come in an orb, turning different colors, including white. Comes in, right? Turns purple, and then poof, you got a deity with stars all over. Stars on her hat, stars on her shoulders, stars on her shirt, stars on her dress, stars on her staff. Look, I'm not interested in disagreeing in a way as to create hostility or like that I'm mad at you. I'm just afraid for you. Because if you think the things I'm talking about are aliens, the white orbs, you're already deceived. You're already deceived. What are you doing here watching this show? Now, I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to free your mind. You've been presented a lie and accepted it. 25% aliens, 18% demons, 32% angelic beings, 24% I have no opinion. What do you mean no opinion? Really? I mean, I put that in there for y'all guys that would say that, but really, no opinion. Even now, you can go back and change your vote. All right. Let's keep going here. Now, this is a weird one. This is a that's kind of interesting. Hang on here. I just noticed something about this video that was a little surprising to me. I'm trying to find the right spot here where this thing okay, must be coming up right up here, right about here, I think. Yeah, so there's the bird flying by, and I wanted to look at this It's this is in Russia. It was filmed in Russia. And it's a black orb. And it's not visible to the naked eye. I cannot say that this is a real video. I cannot give it any credibility other than the fact the guy, his story was he said he went to a crash site of a military aircraft after they had claimed they had cleaned it up and they left. He went there and found a few pieces of small broken glass. And when he puts them in front of the camera lens, he can see things and film things that otherwise you can never see. Now, is that the truth? I don't know. I find the video interesting, and it's tied into this whole orb thing, because he's been doing videos for a couple of years, or at least a year and a half since he found this glass. And he doesn't make a video every day. He makes one like once a month at the most. So if you were trying to deceive and make money on YouTube, you wouldn't do once a month. Okay, you'd be doing a lot of stuff, getting real creative with what you're filming. And he's seen some very interesting things, but I'm looking at this one today because of this object, a black carbon-like orb that is cruising through the frame as he's driving down the road with the glass. He's in the passenger seat and they're driving along. He's got his camera up and he's got a piece of glass that he says he found. Again, I cannot testify for this footage, but I do find it interesting. And it's pretty clean, clear footage, that's for sure. And his channel, if you want to check it out, I will drop the link to it in the chat. It's called Space RU is the name of the channel. Space RU, the letter R, the letter U. Let me throw it in the chat real quick, the link to it. So there's some other interesting videos. I cannot swear, and I'm not going to stand here and say this video is real. That's not what this show is about. This show is about telling you things for sure that I know is truth. That the white orbs that we're seeing all over the televisions, all over YouTube, Twitter, everything, they're making out and hinting at they're aliens, or maybe it's China, or maybe it's Russia, but we think it's aliens. It's a deception. It's lies. Go back to the beginning of this video if you haven't seen it. You need to see all the proof and all the information and all the knowledge that I have that I've laid out here for you. Okay? Oh, and thank you, Crystal Fire, for a super sticker. You just made my day. Thank you very much. Corey says debunked. I don't know what you're talking about, Corey. What's debunked? And if you're referring to angels being bright, white, and round all about, unfortunately, I would have to disagree with you on that one. I know what it is. I've seen them many, 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 many times. I don't know why I was chosen to be able to see them. Then later on in life, I come and create a channel to try to put out the truth. Started out as the Idaho Picker, turned into Logic Before Authority, and now I still have Logic Before Authority, but I was pushed to tackle this supernatural topic. And we're seeing all this stuff in the heavens, drones all over New Jersey, all kind of craziness going on. People seeing orbs at the airports, following airplanes, anything you can think of. On top of that, every night I go outside, sit out there. After I've been outside, it gets good and dark. Here comes the Starlink satellites cruising over with a as bright as angels get, light on them, fading in and out, and then just vanishing. Turns off the lights. Coming in at an arc. If it's coming in at an arc towards you, and as it gets close to you, you can tell it's very high up, you're being deceived. That's Starlink. Star, the word star is for angels. If you look up numerous places in the Bible and Scripture. My last show, I showed you, what was it? Revelations 9:11, 9:1. One of those two right in there. It tells you right straight up that angels are stars. That stars are angels. You say, well, Daniel, you're basing that just off a book called the Bible. Trust me, I know. I get it, okay? But I also know what I know. Put the book aside. What does Daniel know? I know they're angels. That's what I know. I see you guys are making tons of comments and tons of viewers. I greatly appreciate all you being here. Please subscribe. Let's see what else I got here I want to show you. And I got a few other images. If you got any crazy people, you know what to do. But just if they're disagreeing, it's okay.
Tell this here, we know Starlink is not angels.
Huh?
We know Starlink is not no angel.
Yeah. Of course, Starlink is not angels. What I'm telling you, and some of you already understand this, I'll say it one more time. I'm saying what Starlink is doing. We all know when they launched Starlink, we would see the dots in the sky, the lights, and they were real close in a straight line. Starlink, all the satellites, they move in an arc pattern all around the world, right? They move in an arc. And I'm saying if you see a light coming from the far off in the horizon, and it's coming along and it gets real bright, and maybe it'll just vanish. Sometimes they'll come above you, and it's real bright, but you can tell it's way up there. I'm telling you that they're using Starlink to fool you. And some of you just ain't going to get it. And that's just the way it is.